Ladies and gentlemen, geeks and nerds, welcome back to another episode of Road to HermitCraft. And we're here in the Nether, just left the witch farm, which is over there, that portal right there. And we are on the way to our location for today's project, right here, the Ocean Monument. Yep, today we're going to tackle the Ocean Monument. Obviously we've already conquered it, but we're going to try and turn it into a farm this week. And we're going to try and do something different, as as we like to do around here. So here is our Ocean Monument. Oh yeah. If you're in Discord, we had I had a bit of a tease with you guys this week, and geez, you guys, you guessed pretty much straight away. The first comment was Ocean Monument. So pretty smart people in Discord. So well done. Yeah, we are going to tackle this Ocean Monument, and we're going to do something different. So normally when people tackle the Ocean Monument, what they do is they build a big sand wall all around the edge, and then they drain all the water out. Hey guy, leave me alone. They drain all the water out, and then take out the structure, and then build the farm. Now we are not going to do that. Oh no, we're going to try and build a farm without taking away any water at all. That's right, we're going to keep all the water in place. I'll talk more about that in a minute. But the first job we need to do is to remove this Ocean Monument, because it's going to be in the way. So I guess it's time for a time lapse of getting rid of this Ocean Monument. I was hoping that by the end of that clip it would all be gone, but it's not. Turns out Guardians are quite hard. So now the problem is, as I've been taken off the top sort of layer, if ever I get in trouble I can hide, but as I'm taking away the monument there's less places to hide, and of course the Guardians build up, and I've got a double beacon up there that gives me haste, regen, and also resistance. I've also got my full my full diamond gear on with protection 4. So it's not too bad if there's like one or two Guardians, hitting you. You can just ignore them pretty much. But if you get a big pack of them, then that's big trouble. And now, as you can see, there's quite a lot of them. Look at all those guys. Look at them, just waiting for me. I even tried adding some iron golems, see if they would sort of help out, but they're pretty useless. So what we're going to do, we need to get rid of these Guardians, I think, and there is a way that we can do this, something I've never done before, so this is going to be something to try out and see if it works. So what I'd like to do is to get rid of all of these Guardians, and we can do that using what's called a mob switch. So let's head on over to the spawn chunks. So I'm over at the spawn chunks underneath the magnificent Iron Man, and I'm in spectator mode just to make this a bit easier to explain. So here are our spawn chunks. There's plenty of tutorials online about how to find spawn chunks, and here is the center of our spawn chunks, those 4 blocks right there. And our spawn chunks are 16 chunks by 16 chunks. So if we turn on spawn chunks, then we will see them. This is built into the game. F3 and G shows you these. So these are all of our chunks, each of these boxes. And the spawn chunks are 16 by 16, centered around here. But only the center 12 by 12 is what's called processing chunks, and the 2 on the outside are lazy chunks. So if I come over to here, now when we built the Iron Man originally, and I found the spawn chunks, I actually marked where the end of our 12 by 12 is. So you see this obsidian here? This shows the corner of our 12 by 12 spawn chunks, and there's another one over there, over there, and over there. So it shows a grid here. Now the two chunks next to this, so this one here and this one here, are going to be lazy chunks. So the spawn chunks are always loaded, but the lazy chunks don't process entities. So what you need to do is, if we can fill a lazy chunk with 70 mobs, hostile mobs, they will take up the mob cap, and then we can leave this chunk through a portal, and then those mobs won't despawn. They'll stay here, taking up the mob cap. So when we go over to our ocean monument, the guardians can't spawn because the mob cap is already filled. So that's what we're going to do. So the first job is to find a spawner. Now luckily for us, there is in fact this zombie spawner inside the lazy chunks of our spawn lazy chunks. So that's lucky, very lucky in fact. So we can use this. Now we have lots of spawners because we ramped up the spawn count to maximum. So that's why we're pretty lucky here to have this one. If you don't have a spawner, you just need to get mobs over here. So if there's a spawner nearby, or you can create a mob farm to do it. So whichever way, but the point is you need to get 70 hostile mobs in one of these chunks. So I guess what I'm going to do now is dig this out and then let 70 of these zombies spawn, and then we'll take it from there. And once your spawner is all dug out like this one, and you've left it for a bit for a whole bunch of mobs to spawn, check that out. I don't want to fall in there, that would be bad news. But if we look at our F3 screen over on the left hand side, sort of the fourth row down, it says E102. That means we're looking at 102 entities. So that's probably pretty much all of these zombies. So we've probably got about 100 zombies here. Now, I would expect it to get just to 70, the mob cap. So I wonder whether those ones that have got armor on or holding shovels, whether they count to the mob cap. Not sure. But in theory, we should block that up. If we go through a portal and leave these chunks. Okay, here's the moment of truth. Let's see, has it worked? There's guardians. Okay, I just swam away and now I'm swimming back again. And I can't see any guardians. Oh my geez. I think it's worked. There are no guardians. Guardians. Don't mess with me. Oh, this is brilliant. Okay, so that is how you do a very simple mob switch. Oh, this is so much easier. Why didn't I do that at the beginning? Yeah, so if you're going to do anything like this, yeah, I highly recommend doing that. And just to prove that I'm not cheating in any way, we're on hard difficulty, not peaceful. This is legit. Yeah, that did actually work. So yeah, I'm very happy about that. And yeah, just to reiterate, it only works because we did it inside the lazy spawn chunks. Yeah, so you have to make sure you do it in there if you're going to try that at home. Alright, so just going to continue taking out this ocean monument, and then is a bit of preparation underneath on the seabed, which I will do, and then I'll bring you back in and tell you all about this farm, and yeah, see you in a minute. Alright, I've made some progress. Oh yes, we're at the bottom of the sea, on the seabed. Oh, and I placed them all wrong now. Oh, the pressure of talking and placing blocks at the same time. Alright, here are some fence gates. So I'm going to fill this whole area that I've flattened out with fence gates, yes. And this is a 58 by 58 square. That's how big the ocean monument is, and that is the area where guardians will spawn. So this is just a bit over 3,000 fence gates I need to place and open. So yeah, yeah, good. Anyway, so we're using fence gates because they hold up water, but they allow things to fall through them because they don't have a hitbox. So I can just walk through all these. So the idea of this farm is the guardians will just spawn up here in the sea, in the ocean as usual. And what they do is, I don't know if you noticed before, but when they're not swimming around, they just sink. they just go slowly down, sink down until they hit something. And of course what's going to happen here is they're going to sink down, they're going to fall through these and underneath into a killing area, and they're going to just get killed because they just fall down. Simple as that, really. Yeah, some of them will swim around, especially when there's things around them that they aggro them, like the squid or players. So obviously this is not super efficient, but that's not what we try and do here. We try and do things a bit differently. When I was researching how to do that, I came across a video by a guy called Hex Regulus, and basically this is what he did, this farm right here. So I'll put a link in the description. It's a great idea, and I thought we'd give it a try. So yeah, this is all his idea, really. Anyway, enough jibber jabber. Let's get placing these 3,000 fence gates. Alright, I'm underneath the seabed. I have placed all of the fence gates. Oh my geez. That was tedious. But here they all are. If I come up here, actually, you can have a quick look at all these fence gates. Wow. Oh my geez, what am I doing? Alright, yeah, so that's 3,300 and something or odd fence gates down underneath. Alright, so that's all good. So down here underneath, so we had to have these blocks underneath the fence gates because you have to have a block under a fence gate before you can place them. And this area here was underwater, so just taking out the last of the sponges that I used to get the water out of here, because I placed all this dirt on top. There's no tool for a sponge, I don't think, so yeah, just using whatever. So next job is to take away all of this level right here, all of that. So when the guardians are up there, as I said, they sink down, they'll fall through the fence gates and they will land over here. And on this level here, we're going to have some water streams from this side that go over this way into the center. So from each of the four sides into the center. And what I'll probably do is I think I'll just step it down each after every 7 or 8 blocks. Just step it down and step it down, so we'll have a few sort of terraces, I guess, where the water will gradually flow down into a central area where we'll kill the guardians, probably with lava. I think we'll make it nice and easy, and we'll get cooked fish out of that as well. So I guess I just got to dig this out is the next thing, and get the water in, and then we've pretty much got a farm. So yeah, let me carry on. And here we are with the progress so far, pretty much done underneath here. So I've dug all of this out. Wasn't too bad actually, with the haste beacon, not too bad. There's quite a few caves here and actually a mine shaft as well. But yeah, that was all right, not too bad. And I've also cleaned up the floor and the walls, so it's just stone, and just added this kind of accent around the edges just to make it look kind of all right. Yeah. So yeah, I run out of sea lanterns. That's all I've got from what was left from the monument. But what's going to happen is we're going to have water right all around the edge on the top level, and that's going to cascade down all these steps, and it's going to push all of the guardians into this central drop in there. So they're going to fall through the fence gates, end up down here. All right, there we go. There is the killing chamber. Right, let's go and have a look at the viewing area now. See what that looks like. So here's the view of the farm from the top. Quite a lot of fence gates. But just here, I've got a little hole here that we can go into, and that takes us down to the bottom where all the drops are. So we can just go down here. There's some ladders for now. And then we have a little entrance here. And that takes us to where the guardians should fall in. So there's the lava we just put in. Yeah, so the guardians will be here. They'll be burning up because of the lava, and they'll die, and all their drops will go into those hoppers. And just back here, I've just added a few chests for the time being. Well, there's a few things from when I built. Yeah, so that's not enough for the finished article, but it's enough to get us going. So I think what we need to do now is to just clean up the top, get rid of those chests and stuff, get the water in, and then we can disable the mob switch, so get rid of all those zombies, and then see this thing working. And here is all the water in place. I've tidied up all the chests and stuff we had there. So yeah, this is what it looks like. So you just get pushed along, and yeah, eventually you'll make it to the middle. So that's what it looks like inside. probably not going to be in here that often now, so I just wanted to give you a quick look. And yeah, one thing I forgot to mention is I've put a load of hoppers around the edge here, and that is because the Guardians, when they're up there, will occasionally kill squid, and the ink will land in this water stream, and we'll collect some ink as well, just as a byproduct. So yeah, thought I might as well capture that. Right, let's go over and get rid of the zombies. Right, I'm going to go through the iron farm portal, and then we can drop down out and get down to the spawner. This might actually link up with the spawner. Oh yeah, it did. Yeah, I'm going to have to break this. So let's have a look in here. Are the zombies still here? Yeah, okay. Right, we need to get rid of those guys. I can hear some Guardians zapping squid, so that's a good sign. Yeah, also I just want to show you this. I think Azumavoid showed this in one of his videos. We'll put a link in the description, but there's a little mod here I've added that allows you to just hover over your shulker boxes and yeah, show the content. So if you've not seen that, yeah, that's worth checking out. Yeah, so I'll stick a link to in the description for all of that stuff. But yeah, I think I've got a night vision potion here maybe. Yeah, there we go. Let's take one of these. Okay, let's have a look, see what we can see from here. So I'm just on the outside of the farm, just here. But you should see, obviously the ones that swim around, they won't go in straight away. But the others just sink, they just float down when they're not doing anything. And then, there we go, there's some there. So if you get a bit closer, you can see them falling into the pit. There we go, it's working. Oh yeah. Check it out. They just float down. So some do swim, there you go, so there's a couple there swimming around attacking squid, so we'll be getting our ink as well. But these guys, look, they're just floating down until they hit a block. But of course, they're not going to. They're going to hit lava instead. Oh, ouch. Right, let's go down to the killing area, see what we can see down here. There we go, plenty of Guardians dying. Let's check out the drops. Obviously we've only just started and just got here. But the drops are coming in and we've got some ink already. That's quite a lot, jeez. Alright, so yeah, not super efficient or anything like that by any means, but yeah, be interesting. So there's a few things we can do. So I need to set an AFK spot up in the air, so we need to work out where that should go. The other thing is if we cover the ocean with a roof, that increases the spawn rates of the Guardians, so we should do that as well. And in fact, the roof is the next thing we're going to do. I'm going to do it right now. So I've made a start. I've just put a border around the outside with some sea lanterns. Yes, I've crafted up some sea lanterns from the stuff we've gathered already, so that's good stuff. And also crafted up some of this dark prismarine as well. So the farm is already paying for itself, which is good stuff. And the rest of the blocks I'm going to use from what we got from the monument when we took it down. So next thing is to finish this roof off. And let's see if we can get these Guardians spawning at a bit higher rate. Okay, the roof is done, but check these guys out. They're escaping the farm. Oh, and that is no good. And there's a few more, some more of these guys hanging out. Oh dear. maybe they know what's going to happen to them. Another guy over there. Yeah, so that's something we're going to talk about in a second. But first, here is the roof. So this increases the spawn rates of the Guardians. Just went for a very simple pattern. I put down this white concrete in the middle here. I don't like it that much actually, now I've done it. So I might swap that out. I was thinking maybe some glazed terracotta, you know, those patterned ones. They look good in a 2x2. So I might go and do that off camera later on. But yeah, get this functional for now. And there's the AFK spot right up there. So I can just go up there, hang out, and try and maximise spawns as much as we can. Now then, back to those guys that have escaped the farm. So at the moment, our farm is nice and open in the open ocean, and that was what I originally had planned. But yeah, we get quite a few that's kind of hang out and escape the farm, which is no good really. We're not going for super efficiency, but it's a good excuse to try something cool. So I was thinking about doing, how about an automatic wall builder? Something that we can just stand over here, bit of redstone, and it builds a wall all the way around the outside of this farm for us in a cool way. Do you fancy that? Alright, let me build something up and yeah, we can talk about it. So here is a simple mock-up to illustrate the concept of how our wall builder is going to work. So what we can do is we're going to use gravity blocks to build up our wall. So that can be anything that doesn't react with water. So we can't use concrete because that will just set, but we can use sand, red sand, and also gravel. That's what we're going to use. But if we were to drop a gravity block on top of either fences or fence gates, they hover on top and I can't break that at all. But also if you were to push it, it will slide infinitely across these things. So if I was to push this, it goes across. And what happens here is it goes across the gates until it gets to a block that stops it. And then there's an open fence gate and it'll fall down. So imagine this was over the edge of our area here. We could keep doing that until this column of sand was filled up all the way from the seabed up to these fence gates. We could then close that fence gate, open the next one, and get rid of this block. Now if we would do it again, we can start filling up the next column. And then keep doing that until that column's filled up. And then keep moving along until the whole wall is finished. Now of course our farm is actually a square, and a square has corners, those things right there. But luckily we can also make this sand go around corners. So what we can do is let's get rid of that and close this. Now I've got a little contraption here, so a bit of string with some tripwires that will detect the sand as it goes past, and then just the redstone into a repeater, a little bit of a delay, and then it hits this obsidian, the sand does, and then this piston and slime block pushes the sand this way. So if I was to try this out, just have to drop a sand in again, and if I stand here so you can see, press the button, goes around the corner. Oh yeah. So now we can place blocks in columns and go around corners. But what we need now is a little contraption to automate all this. And here is that contraption. So this bit here, this is a wall builder by a guy called Doge, who is on the Prototech server, or Protech server. And yeah, this is his build, this bit right here. So thanks for that. Talk about that in a minute, but basically this automates the job of moving along the whole line. And what will happen is the sand will come along here, it will hit this block, fall through here, and it will pass this observer. As it passes as an entity, it won't detect anything, so it will just stay still. When this column gets filled up and a sand block is placed here, this observer triggers and basically moves everything this way one block. Of course the redstone block here moves along, so that will close this fence gate and open this one. And then we'll continue dropping the next column, and it will keep going all the way to the end. So that is how that's going to work. And up here, this is my little invention. Probably not very good. I'm sure there's a better way to do it. But if I was to jump up here, quickly show you, we've got an observer here. So if I place a block here, that will set off some redstone signals. The sand or whatever it is will land on top of this fence gate momentarily. Then it will open. It will drop down now to that fence gate, and this slime block will push it that way into the wall builder. The reason I do that is because if you place blocks too quickly, the sand can end up landing on top of the slime block and it ends up breaking. So we just need to make sure the timing is correct for that. So that's that bit. And over here I've got a dispenser with these different gravity blocks inside, and this is basically going to shoot out one of those randomly each time we place. So this will give us a constant supply of blocks and just give us a random one of those 3 blocks. So when I'm using this, I just got to fill up my inventory with stuff, and then we can keep accepting a block. So the idea is this wall will be built automatically and will be a random combination of these blocks. Alright, let's give this thing a try and see if it works. Here's the first wall, all done. Looking pretty snazzy, I think. Yeah, that went pretty well. Had a bit of an issue here at the corner though. Yeah, the sand does go around the corner, as I showed earlier, but for some reason when it gets onto the flying machine, you know, to kind of move it along, it sometimes breaks off. So I've managed to place a few blocks down there, but yeah, as you see, there's a sand block right there. See that's broken off. Yeah, it's not quite sure why that is, so I'm going to investigate that a bit further. But yeah, pretty much run out of time for this episode. But yeah, if I can get that working, we can do the rest of this. But let me know what you think. Should we actually build these walls all the way around? It's easy to get rid of. If we want to get rid of them, I can just put some slabs underneath there and all of this will come down. So not a problem to get rid of it. So what do you think? Should we have these walls all the way around and get the wall builder to do it? Or should we leave it in the open ocean? Alright, yeah, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think. And with that, it is time to say goodbye for this time. Thanks for watching everyone, and if you liked the video then please leave a like as usual. Get your comments in that comment section, and also if you're new then hit that subscribe button. I'll see you later my geeks, until next time.